皆さんこんにちは、なるです。マイクを新しくしたので音質がすごく良くなったと思います。どうですか？はい、本編を見たい方は YouTube のチャプター機能からスキップしてください。今回は Lights Out と Tweek Talks からウメブラでのスノーさんやザクレイさんの活躍、また日本に遠征することの大切さについて話しているところを翻訳しました。ちびテレビとしてのRiptideでのインタビュー動画も投稿したので、よかったら見てください。リンクは右上にあります。今回も最後に英単語の解説をつけています。よかったら見てください。それではどうぞ。
That was a good tournament, bro. I think his lifetime was 12-2 versus Raru. So for him to get that W was huge. Beating huge.
Yeah.
People don't beat Akola.
He's nasty.
He's very, very good. And I think this was something that I was thinking about when some of the players who don't normally travel came over. Sometimes you just need to experience a different play style or a different way that people think about the game. You interact with certain players and they may tell you certain things, and it could be huge for your growth. So I think Snow traveling to America, Raru traveling to America, same for vice versa, like people who travel to Japan, a lot of times they come back. Remember, Zomba had his huge glow up after he went to Japan. Sometimes you just need to take that trip. So I'm excited to see where Snow goes from here. I mean, that's a huge event, a lot of big W's.
Shout out to Zachary, he did amazing this tournament. I love that he's playing more Rob. Yes, you cannot defeat all this bullshit with Pit. I'm glad he knows that, and I'm glad
Yes,
he's
you
playing more
can.
Rob.
You can't.
No,
I think
can.
think he can beat a good bit of it. I just think he recognized that event that his Rob was playing significantly better than his Pit. Like
his Rob was cooking.
It was playing very well, and I was looking at his Pit like, this isn't as strong as the Pit I'm used to seeing.
I'm Twitch chat right now though. Like
that-
I need some Pit.
Chat.
I need Pit, bro.
But dude, his Rob was playing
Zachary's hurt was crazy.
I need to watch the full set, but I kind of missed like the later half of top 8, but I saw some clips of like his recoveries and stuff.
Oh, dude, his recoveries versus Nikita was so crazy.
Nah,
dude,
he was locked in.
Watching two characters that can literally just fly to the blast zone is so funny because you see Hurt go all the way.
Wait, these are both of the strengths I was just talking
just
about.
chasing.
True.
Exactly, yeah.
Items
so then
and
you see
flying.
Zachary. Yes, both of them. This is ultimate right here. But you just see Zachary tracing him and like just tracking him and just following with the up B and the double jump too, like saving the double jump and double jump up airing and just catching Hurt like in the bubble practically for one of the final stocks of one of the games. It was crazy to watch these two really, really broken characters go at it.
Grant was a very fun watch, and I think they are going to be more consistent whenever they start coming to American tournaments again, because I do feel like they are grinders. They don't like losing, and I feel like because they don't like losing, and they also, essentially mainly play for pride, whenever they lose, they're like, we don't want to travel across the world 12-14 hours to end up just losing to anybody and not even making top 8. So I feel like they're definitely going to pick up the slack and like start wanting to do well to represent their country across the seas, because the narrative of like fighting the NA Avengers is a real thing. I know they definitely see that too. Japanese Twitter definitely sees everything too. So yeah, I know they want to beat everybody in the NA Avengers too, and just it definitely has gotten to a point where we are in a region war where it's like, is NA better than Japan, or is Japan better than NA? And I know they take pride in that too, because whenever Spargo went to Japan and beat Akola was really upset because he wanted to defend his country. And then Akola beat Spargo next time. Akola was very happy. He didn't even care that he lost to Mia because he beat Spargo and defended his country. So it is a definite real thing in the community now, where it's like we're in the era, in the arc of NA versus Japan, essentially. I do want to mention that I think one of the things that is kind of hindering Sonix from being number one, which is something that Spargo has embraced too, is actually going to Japan to play, because I don't think he's been to Japan to play either. And Spargo has, Leo has, and like obviously all the Japanese players are coming over here too.
Zamba went too at one point and went on a tear.
Yeah, exactly. So I really do want to see how Sonix does against all of the Japanese players, not just the top Japanese players, but like also like the high level Japanese players, and like getting the Japanese players to get into top 32, because obviously Sonix is like a very consistent player, but they are very experienced with the Sonic matchup because they have Sonic players that travel to more tournaments there, with Ken and Taige, I believe, is a Sonic player. I just think that whenever you are at the point where you are in contention for being the best, even if you're not someone like Zamba or Leo, like going to Japan is always going to be something that benefits you as a player, and it's something that I feel like you do have to do if you want to be the best in the world. And obviously Sonix wants to be the best in the world. That's his goal. Yeah. So to see that there's a lot of features that are happening in Japan, it's pretty surprising to not see him have been to one of them even yet. So I hope that at some point, maybe the next one that they have, he does end up going, and I think it would be pretty cool to see how he does there.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little different for him as well. I mean, he also is in college and shit like that, and you know, he's actually a pretty busy person from what it seems, but I'm sure I'll make it out there eventually. If you want my opinion, I think if he goes to Japan, he just wins. And if he doesn't win the first event, I think he wins the next three, because the dude is the type to be like, okay, let's go to Japan. Oh, let's say I lost to Shulk and Pac-Man. All right, I studied it, and I studied every single one of you who was in top 8 that weekend, and then I'm gonna win. I just don't think that he would lose, considering his history with Akola and Mia and his adaptation to Snow. I think Shuton would be one of the best people to stop him, like even if he does study him. Like him losing to Shuton made a lot of sense to me, and I'm sure it made a lot of sense to everyone else who watched it, because Sonix does not like Aegis, and even if he did, it's just like you said, they're very experienced versus Sonic, and Shuton's just goated, bro. He really is just that great. I don't know. There's no Spargo there, man. There's no Spargo. I don't think anyone's gonna stop him there. I do genuinely think skill-wise that he is number 2 right now, if not number 1. He just needs to clear it out. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes there and stops.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I just also think that one of the reasons why Spargo has been doing very well too is because he's embraced that going to Japan really does help you. And if you think about it, he went to Japan. He went from Smash Factor, where he got like 5th, losing to me, and then losing to Shattuck. And then immediately after that, he went to Japan. I don't know who he lost to in winners, but he lost to Akola in losers, and then right after that, he won the next 2 majors that he's been to. So it's like going to Japan really, like, as much as people like say like, yeah, like you don't have to travel to be that much better, or like whatever they say about it, like you can't travel to be better. It does help, it doesn't help, it doesn't matter. I feel like the results are there and showing that when you do go to Japan and you come back, there is consistently people that are doing better. Like it's happened with Zamba, it's happened with Leo 2, happened with Meister, it's happened with Spargo, obviously. So I feel like if Sonic wants to be the best in the world, just take what the results of what's been working and seeing that people, obviously, like you might be right. He is a pretty busy person. He does have school and stuff. He has a girlfriend. He has a life. And he's still doing very, very well. He's still getting second at like every single tournament. Mm-hmm. But if you do want to commit to being the best player, you do have to make sacrifices, like going to a completely different country to learn a thing or two. And I do think that Sonix would be someone to not lose consistently. I do feel like he could lose once or twice if he goes to like 4 or 5 tournaments there, because that's just the nature of Japan. It's happened to Spargo, it's happened to Leo, it's happened to Akola and Mia. They've lost to random people too. That's just the culture over there, or that's just like the level of play over there. But I feel like for someone like Sonix, the way that he studies, that would help boost him even more, because he would have something even more to study than to just study the American playstyles that he's playing against. He would be able to study like the completely different playstyles that he has to play against in Japan. Whether he does win or lose, even if he wins and it's pretty close and he clutches it out, you can still study that and gain something from that. So I feel like that's something that would help him very much, which is why I feel like he definitely should go if he wants to be the best in the world.
それでは今日の単語を見ていきましょう。nasty、汚いっていうのが本来の意味なんですが、褒め言葉ですごい最高みたいな意味でも使います。例文 His play is nasty。あいつのプレーは最高だ。set、match、1試合のことを言いますね。で、1本とか2本とかの方はゲームって言います。例文 The Hurt vs. ザクレイ set was crazy。ハート選手とザクレイ選手の試合はやばかった。ゲーム。1試合のうちの1本のことをゲームと言います。例文 He took a game from a cola。彼はアコーラ選手から1本取った。lock in。集中することとか気合を入れることです。例文 I gotta lock in for the next set。次の試合に向けて集中しないと。broken。皆さん聞いたことあると思うんですけど、ぶっ壊れですね。例文 This character is broken。このキャラはぶっ壊れだ。Grand Finals とか略して Grands って言います。意外だと思うんですけど、これ S がつくんですね。決勝とかグランドファイナルのことです。例文 ウメブラ Grands was amazing。ウメブラの決勝は素晴らしかった。Grind、たくさん練習すること。例文 I grind smash at locals every week。毎週平日大会でスマブラの練習をしている。Adapt、対応するとか適応するという意味です。例文 I was behind, but I adapted to my opponent and finally won。負けていたが相手の動きに対応して最終的に勝った。Commit、専念することですね。例文 If you wanna commit to being the best, you have to travel to Japan。 これコスモスが言ってたことですね。世界一になりたいなら日本に遠征をしないといけない。はい、今回は以上です。見てくださった皆さんありがとうございました。じゃあまたね。